All right, I think we're up and running. I was running into forbidden errors on OBS initially, but I think we've gotten past that. So hold on real quick. I'm checking my signal here to make sure that we're live. And then we'll get to work. So hold on for a moment. I'm not seeing us yet. Channel. Is this, hold on, it looks like do I have two feeds going on? This one is live currently, right? This one is live currently. Cool. And then there's this one, which is, all right. Well, apparently I've got two signals going. Give me a moment here to check into that. We'll get started here in a moment, I swear. Upcoming, live now. This is the one that I kill. No, not playlist. More actions. Delete forever. I understand. Delete forever. Okay, so that should be taken down. Now we can go back to my channel and check to see if we're live still and get on with our day. If we're live. Yeah, okay, so if you get a forbidden error on OBS, it launches signal to YouTube that you are live, but it doesn't actually pick up the feed. So there's an empty live now, or rather upcoming thing that happens. Not that you guys need to know that, but I do. So I'm sharing with you. Okay, great. So I've got a couple social media buttons I got to press. So let me distract you with my origin story. My name is Phil Kearney. I create role-playing games. I illustrate them. I publish them online. And I create content for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. I publish it on DMsGuild. I've been a DM since 1987. I've been a freelance illustrator since 1999. I've been an Eberron enthusiast since 2004, and I've been creating content on the DMsGuild since 2018, but I have not created anything specifically for Eberron yet, despite it being a campaign world that I've been kicking around inside of for 2 decades. So we're fixing it. I've got my social media post done, so let me fix my screens here real quick and we'll get to work. Clickety clunk to here. Crystals in my bar. It's for characters level 7 and 8, and we're basically fighting undead demons and necromancers in the Carnwood of Karnath on the continent of Corvair. And right now what we're doing is we're illustrating corn maze tiles. Basically, there's a the adventure begins in a farming community, and they're farming corn. And there's undead that are attacking. So in this scenario, there's undead running around inside the corn mazes, chasing after people, and you can go flush them out and get rid of them. But we were talking about this yesterday, since this is session number 2. Session 1 yesterday, we were talking about the tiling process and how these tiles can be used. Like we have, like these are replicant, rotated and flipped in different, because the corn itself only faces up in one direction. So if I just spun this tile, then the corn would be facing in a weird direction. So we're providing some generic tiles that can be flipped in different directions as connectors to these unique tiles. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 unique tiles. These are the sample tiles that we had originally created as proof of concept. So we've got 16 tiles. These 4 are replicated just to be straight paths through the corn. And these are designed to go straight through the corn, but angle from one connector point to another. You can see here that there's 8 connector points. One, actually, you can't see it here. Here you go. Yeah, we'll do that. Let's pull this over here. You can see here that there's 8 connecting points. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And you can see like these are corresponding to different connecting points. So as long as you have stuff that will bounce into each other like that, you can basically tile these things together any way that you want. These unique tiles are always face up because I'm only making one of them. But like I showed, we have these straight lines that go from directly parallel points across from each other. These do catty corner points. I don't have any curve brushes in any curve tiles. So I think I should actually add. Sadly, I'm going to add some curved tires. Curved tiles is the word that we're looking for today. Pixel size that we use. Initially, we were just doing black pathing with 100 pixels and a circle pixel. Let's grab here. Roughly like that. And we can flip the path on this. And then we could have interior, which would be basically like that. Wide turn, short turn. We already have one that takes you from one tile to the next. Yeah, that's reversible. Do I need more tiles than that? Yes. Let's go to... I don't want a square peg. There we go. So normally I stream from 6:30 till 8 o'clock Seattle time, basically an hour and a half-ish burst. But I'm on vacation today. It's my birthday. Cheers to me. And so I am taking the day off of work and allowing myself more time online, which is what I do each year. I take a number of days off from my day job to celebrate myself. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that works. And those connect to parallel sides. And then you can flip it for other sides. So let's take... no, not those. There, like that. And that, we can blip those out of the way. Let's grab this one here, drop it down here. Let's grab this one here and drop it down here. So we'll finish these paths, and then we're going to start filling in the gaps and like the details, like the corn husks and all that shit. Nerve. Let's grab this and pop. Paste. And rotate 90 degrees. Dun, dun, dun. Again, the corn has to face upward the same way. So I need to tile the corn. Is it possible for me to build one tile of corn and then overlay a path over it so that it looks right? That's not really how we did it. So no, I think I have to do these all manually, which is a mistake I will learn from for the future. But as it is, I'm going to sweat it out. Why are you grouped? I see why. Thank you. This might be going overboard on the detail, but I'm being thorough. Perhaps I don't need to be this thorough. Who knows? I'm going to do it anyway. So our 16 is expanding like the 32 pretty quickly. Caught sight of Bet on Netflix. Like that. And I'm certain that it has anime or manga origins. It just has to, the way that it works. There. But so far I'm enjoying it. Half-hour episodes, which I did not expect. So it flies by pretty quickly. But yeah, overall, interesting show. Bet, B-E-T. Basically about a gambling school where the teachers are pretty much non-existent. And it's all about students making bets against each other to torture each other and win money, to prove that they're the most cutthroat risk taker, to earn internships at evil places. Whatever. Evil internships, that's right. I feel like I'm going mad. Okay. If I flip this, it doesn't matter because it's going in the same way. Do I need to flip these? I need to invert all of these. Those are good to go. Yeah, these need to be inverted. So they hit all 8 corners. Currently, we're only hitting 4 of them. One. See? None are hitting this top corner up here. So we had to make a new one that would. That resolves those. Hey, Fox, how you doing? And then we'll grab this one. Duplicate the group. And then there. Hold on. For transform. What's missing? Is anything missing? Nothing's missing. Hold on. I don't... Wait. Did it... That's what's wrong. This one's supposed to be like this. That's why it felt like it was lacking. There. Now we're hitting all 8 corners. So we got this broad curve, same path. We've got this, which is outside track, outside track. Here we have outside track, but it's rotated. So we're hitting, like, for instance, this corner here. Nothing is hitting this corner on this stretch. And this one does, so we could flip it horizontally, but then the corner would flip. So we now have something that hits the corner here. Then we have inside track, the same side, same side track, both sides. Straight line, parallel path. Straight line, catty corner path. We don't have... Yeah, we do, because we just built those curves. So we now have paths that you can have long rows that will connect at any distance. And then, again, we'll have one tile that has absolutely no paths on it at all. So let's start with the one that has absolutely no paths on it at all and see if we can somehow discover a base template that we could then just overlay our tracks on with the proper texturing. So I don't have to do 32 cornfields. I can just do one cornfield as a replicating tile and then just overlay tracks on it. So Mojo Jojo, don't mind me. That will be our quest, and I bet that'll go a lot quicker. We have to do one anyway, so why not? So let's see. Let's start at the beginning again. We have the ground. And then we have the actual corn. Yeah, okay. So this and this is what we need for the corn. We need to build a new folder. We're going to call this one, base corn. Base! Get rid of that. We had, I thought, built a new ground tile we started with. Yep, because we locked them. Oh, I'm not crazy. Base corn. There it is. I'm gonna grab this and this, drop it in there. Okay, so that's our base corn layer there. Then we ground, open up here. We're just gonna layer them on one by one the way that we did here. So we have the base here. And then we start overlaying like this, and then we added in texture. We were looking at this last time. Here's our base color, and it is just holy Hannah, that's faint. Let's go over here where it's not as faint. Oh, this is just cloud smudge. This is just color smudging. Okay, so probably not going to come up initially. What will happen is, so we have, okay, so if I'm going to just build a flat corn maze, or a cornfield tile without any kind of lines through it, then I don't have to worry about pathing. So what I actually just need to worry about is the underlying texture. So we have the cornfield and the ground. Cornfield is here and here. That doesn't look the same. What am I missing? Something has definitely gone awry. Hold on. Why are you looking like that and mine isn't? Oh, I bet it's an opacity issue. There it is. It's an opacity issue. Back to 100% down here, and that looks good. And there we go. Now we're back to where it's supposed to be. Now I understand. So the stripped away points is, if we were to overlay this, we would use these colors as our positive space with the brush that we're stamping down on top of this darker grit here. So this dark grit is actually the base color that we need for the ground to overlay the corn on top of. So with that wisdom, ugh, I have to think today. Thinking slows down the creativity so much. Blech. Base corn layer. Let's go. I'll add a third layer. Thank you. And where do my dots go? More dots. Went away. Template. Where'd my dots go? Kind of sad about that. I gotta go find my dots. Hold on. I hope I didn't delete my dots on accident. Oh, I bet they're in the ground layer. I bet I just compiled shit in ground without thinking about it. Or maybe get rid of that. Oh, this day. This day is already a day. Cornfield's probably in here. Damn it, it's just gone. All right, well, I'm futzing around. I was looking for dots. I could have just drawn more dots by now. So, pitter patter. Let's go to here and here. That lines up there. So this lines up here, 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 and here. So I just got to draw within those lines. That's it. Drop the opacity down. So we can ground. There we go. go. Start. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Squirrels. Squirrels eat the peanuts. They love peanuts. At least mine do. I don't know if I train them like peanuts or they're just hardwired to enjoy peanuts. I suspect they can taste the fat. There we go. Very good. Okay, cool. So that's our base. That's our base color layer. And then on top of that, we want to start doing the corn. So let's grab cornfield itself, and then bloop, peel that out. Let's grab our corn pixel, our corn brush. Corn brush. Bloop. Corn. Pixel size is 60. Too dense. Yeah, let's see if that works out. Too dense. Yeah, if the corn is going off the edge of the page, it means it's not going to tile perfectly into each other. But if I leave a gap at the edge, then it's going to look like tiles. So kind of damned if I do, damned if I don't when I have this organic sort of approach. I can't, perhaps with incredible effort, I'll be able to get these things to all line up well with each other, but I'm going to have to, that's a project of patience and diligence, which maybe could pay off, probably won't. Just from the past tiling efforts that I've done. Some juice isn't worth the squeeze. So we go through the process of stippling these this pattern down, and then we're going to select all and fill in fill in the space with the overlaying color, and then we'll do a light erase like an erasing wash over it to help deplete any kind of replicating, like to remove any too conforming color or blotches or anything. Hard to say. I'm not sure what the right word there is. Depreciates the replication of pattern. I think those are the bonus words I'm looking for. Too static. I have to mix up the density a little bit here and there so it feels organic. So when the distancing gets too conform, gets like I'll start setting up a pattern where I'm moving the same distance between brushes. That's not a bad habit. It's a good skill to have, to be able to properly space out objects from each other. I do that a lot in architecture stuff that I end up illustrating. That's a really valuable skill. But here it needs to be a little more random. So I want to break up, if there's too many things that are too evenly spaced from each other, it starts to feel weird. See, that's a lot more. That feel this over here, this pocket over here is too static. So we need to breathe a little bit of angle into it. There. That's the trick with nature. Replicate closely, but not perfectly. All right, and now we have this underlying layer here. We can select inverse and delete, so we have a straight box. That looks pretty good. Let's do this. Ugh, I immediately regret our decision. It's way too dark. It's way too light. It's blinding. But I do like. I do like this in general. So let's just peel these out. Keep those in place. Let's duplicate this. Touch it. That doesn't look horrible. I mean, you can see a bit of a seam there and how they get clipped, but it looks pretty decent. It doesn't immediately jump out at me as a problem. I like that. Let's duplicate this layer. Also, do not immediately hate that. It looks pretty good for the most part. My buckos, this might work, my guys. This might just work. Last one. That one is probably the most flawed. So the easy fix when you have something like that occur. Excuse me for a second here. Just trim a little bit. I'll cheat a little bit. How about that? Yeah, that feels pretty good otherwise. Wait, there's a cluster over here I don't like. And that one's okay. It's this one that's got to go. Yeah. There. Holy Hannah. That tiled pretty well. This is the primary. That was like the only corner that really just didn't quite click immediately. There. Cornfield. There. It's pretty good. All right, guys. So far, so good. We've got we be tiling. Select inverse. Delete. There. Next up is going to be the overlay layer. So let's go back to our cornfields. There. We want to take the lightest color, and then we're going to take the same brush, and we're just going to basically stipple erasing across it. It seems to be the brightest color. Let's grab that one just to be careful. And we'll duplicate. We'll double up on it. There we go. Okay, so this should set us up. I don't have cornfield twice in this conversation. Corn. Sample. I need to change these labels because I'm getting them confused. Ground sample. Production. Okay, so here we are here. I just hit select. So I just did select all for the panel. And now I'm going to select, modify, contract by 1 pixel. we fill it in. See? And now we're going to duplicate this layer so we don't screw up. I'm going to take the same brush, same 60 pixels, drop it down to 10%. And we just start stutter dusting. You need to make sure that I don't focus deleting too much on an edge versus the center. It needs to be uniform. Uniformly inconsistent. How about that as a word? Just going to dot this for a little bit, and if everything turns out right, we'll get a similar fade effect. I will probably want to drop opacity, so I think what I want to do is this base layer like this, and then I think what I'm supposed to do is run over it again, highlighted or selected. So we're just gonna dust this on here first. And then we're going to drop the opacity on it so it becomes closer to shadow. And then we're going to do a separate layer, select the base, and then we're going to paint on highlights using the same brush, but we're going to use the same stippling technique, but the gaps from the selected area is going to create more of a chaos pattern. I'll show you what I mean. I'm kind of word salading a little bit, but you'll get the jive when we get there. Okay, so this is where we're at right now, and I want to drop the opacity on this a smidge. Yeah, this one's only 55%. Well, okay, before I get ahead of myself, let's take this to 55. Oh yeah, that's way too light. Okay, so yeah, we need an additional layer. Not like that though. Let's do this again, and we're going to view. We're going to hide selection, which are called extras. And now we can. Whoa, you are way too big, my dude. Let's go back down to 60, where you belong, and let's see. Let's see how this does. We'll do this, and then we'll take an eraser to this, and then we'll see how things sit. Since I only have the outline, since I've hidden the selection, you can't see the dotted ants marching around all the shapes, but each one of these corn stalks is now selected separately, so I can only paint inside the space. As you can see, like I'm dotting down all this paint, but it's not hitting. See, it's not hitting the negative space. So the shape of the corn husk over a selected shape of the corn husk means I'm going to have a wildly inconsistent lining up of the foreground and the highlight and the shadow. The dark is the shadow, the light is the highlight. I'm currently dotting in highlights. But you can see that these just aren't, I'm not even trying to line them up. I'm not aiming to line them up. I'm just trying to get enough highlight saturated so it seems uniform throughout the field, that they're all getting sunlight. So that looks pretty good. Just tapping some areas that look a little vacant. Okay, cool. So there's that. And now we can go back in and we're going to duplicate this layer. And push it up there to remove it. Tap erasing. Just to take the edge off a little bit, just to sink it in. Taking the edge off there. And then we take this and drop that down to 55%. Let's go here and then select, modify, contract pixel, then select inverse, delete. Select inverse, delete. And let's compare that to drop you down to 35. Now we're starting to look like similar. Take that to 65. I think your edge is, yeah, you got a more pronounced edge. Okay, so I need to contract the pixels more. This percentage looks pretty good, but what we need to do again here is selection, modify, contrast. Let's contrast 2 pixels instead of 1 and see if this produces the results that we want. First off, we're going to duplicate these layers to avoid regret. And we're going to select inverse. And we're going to tap and tap. I think that gives us the edge that we want. $55, 70. There. It's not the same. There. There. Okay, yep, we're on point now. So this is how we carved the maze initially. We just laid down tracks over it. Okay, cool. So we now have our corn established. Now what we need to do is build paths. Oh boy. How are we gonna do this? This is our field. Our field is complete. We've succeeded in building a field. Huh? Okay, that's way too dark. So okay, that's accurate. Do I need to put patches in though? Ooh, fuck, I just locked up. So let's hit save. It's taking a while to save. So we're gonna let it go. There we go. I need to refresh my coffee, so I'm gonna be right back. All right. I broiled some lamb and it's cooling down. Yum. Let's close that out and let's reopen it. Yeah, it fits right in. The only thing is that we don't have the little dots underneath it, which is consistent. So let's build that out. Get rid of the corn sample. We go back to our ground. That's right. We had already acknowledged. Hold on. That's our base. Let's grab it twice. Good. And now the brush that we want is this one. See? See if I can find an isolated one. There we go. About like that. Yep. See? Same. So we're at 125 pixels. So we want to go up here. Let's go with this for corn. And we'll go here for ground. Thank you, Timely Timer. Take a sip of coffee. 7:30, I got another hour and a half. Let's see how we can do. Beep, 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 beep. Ground here. I think I just want to, I think what I want to do is just dot the field. And then probably take an eraser to it, just like we just did. That's probably the most sensible way to do this. Just fill in the gaps, try to be fairly consistent in spacing. And then we'll take the 10% eraser to it. And then we'll drop opacity so it blends into the... No. Yes. Cool. Now we'll take the same eraser, same size, 125, and let's kick it up to 20%. That feels right. And I'm just going to tap, knowing that we're not going to consistently reduce. Probably should have made a new layer to safeguard in case this didn't go right. But I think so far it's doing okay. Tap all that out. I'm going to select and then view, do not view extras, make a new layer, take this one, drop this one down to a lower percent, and then come back through and tap on the selected area because it's going to have less hit rate, like we were talking about before, it's only hitting the selected area, so most of this brush is going to pass through and not leave any mark. But occasionally it will. There, that's probably pretty good. Nice. Have some consistent scruff underneath the corn now. Let's compare that to where we're at here. This is much more muted. Oh, that's right. It's got the layered stuff underneath it. It's not bad though. It does not feel bad at all. So what I think I want to do is down to here, probably grab something like that. What's this mid-ground stuff? What's this coming through? Yeah, oh wow, I was dead fucking on. Okay, there and there. So that's where we want to be, and I want to be there with this brush. I think I want to put that here. Well, that's my problem. That's way too consistent. Trim it down. It wasn't the same. This is going to work out. This is definitely going to work out. Just got to work it in. So fade that in. Have those little blips there. Let's put this here. Let's just do this first off. So scatter this stuff in here. Make a mess of it. This, I think, is going to help the layer we were just messing around with. Just going to just tap this all in, and then we're going to erase it all. Well, some of it. That 10% fade again. I want to fill up that space, and then I want to tear out pieces of it, the eraser. So same thing, same plan. 125 pixels, that feels right. And then we erase. I'm going to target the pocket areas. Like these blots that end up not having any, this is solid blocks, so I want to break up the solid spaces. then we'll probably drop the opacity a smidge. Almost there, stay on target. Almost there. Cool. Now let's drop this down like that. Looks pretty similar. That's pretty fucking close. I think that's close. I think that's close enough to be proud. So we're going to go ahead and select here, and then select inverse, delete, delete, delete. There. Okay, so we now have corn maze, or just a block of corn area, corn zone. Okay, so we now have a corn tile. Let's line it. Let's see if we can line these things up then. Production cornfield. That is its own thing unto itself. I can now conceal the sample stuff. Yeah, that's a nice relaxed color. I think I want to leave that there. It's easy on the eye. So I'm gonna leave it in place. Sample. For my next trick. First off, I want to separate all these dudes into their own layers. Chair's squeaking. Piss me off. Oh, I could be doing this smarter. Hold on. Do it this way. This way. These are all in separate layers. Now they're in separate groups. Separate these all. Good. Group, 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 group. We're grouping. Hey, what's going on? How'd it go, man? It's a long time no see, my dude. Group. Group, group, group. We're grouping. Cut, paste. Cut, paste. Cut, paste. Group, group. Group. And once I have these all properly organized, I can start dropping them on. So we have the corn. So we have a blank format cornfield. That's just a tiling cornfield. We can tile that perpetually. And then we have the pathways through the corn. And we're going to transpose these onto the background and then see if we can create an overlay that'll make that'll make trimming this corn look acceptable. That's what we're trying to do. So that's our next grand adventure. It could all be for folly. Who knows? Group, group. I gotta group them all first so that I am well organized. So we're just going to basically replicate this tile and put it in each one of these groups so that each individual tile is its own thing, right? Group, 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 group. Almost done. Stay on target. Almost there. Group, 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 group. And that was our original sample. We take that and drop it down into the sample batch there. And I don't know. That's right, dots. Guiding dots, I remember that. Guides. We no longer need guides. I guess the only thing to do is just to do it, right? So let's start someplace. Let's start with the unique ones, because the unique ones are going to each be unique, which is a circular statement, but it's nonetheless still true. So we're going to duplicate this layer, and then we're going to, let's peel these all open. I feel pretty confident adding all these in. Creating this base tile layer was probably the right decision. So we're just duplicating right now. These in order. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Good. And then production disappears. Derp. Next up. One, two, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, double check. Cool. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Each of these connector points are 2 squares away from the edge. Thank you, Timely Timer. Keeping me on time. Line that dude up. Cool. Okay, that's good. Blips, blips, pss, 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 pss. Here. Here. Just gotta get all these guys lined up. No. Yes. Very good. Burp. Wait, wrong button. There we go. Burp. Here and then near here. Okay, we have our paths. This will be our first block. Blump, 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 blump. There. So these are 6 unique tiles that we've created for the corn mazes, and then the rest of them are connectors, generic connectors that take you from one point to the next. And we can add more corn tiles if we want to, if we decide that we want to. So, but this should be plenty for whatever shenanigans it is that you're planning. So our next challenge is to open those paths. So going into the samples again. That's convenient. So we want pathways through here, and then we want to have additional ground scrubbage visible through the mess. Like the more pale area here that goes in. Okay. Let's take this opacity down. so we can see where we are. Maybe, oh, that's a neat idea. Okay, let's, hold on. Let's go with, let's open this up. Let's go to the corn, and let's add a masking layer to the corn and see if that creates the solution that we need. Let's do this. Let's just roughly fill in this, like tear out this bit with this brush. You know what? That's not the right brush to use. Let's use this one. So let's knock this out here. Fill that there. Yeah, it's not the same, is it? I like the direction that we're moving in here, though. I'm gonna kind of dot that back into position. Oh god, this is gonna be a hell of a lot easier. Shit. All right. Well, what I'm whinging over is this pattern underneath there. It's too, it feels too prominent. Let's get rid of that. That feels pretty good. That feels good. I'm okay with that. So what am I whinging over? What is my concern? My concern is that these bare patches feel a little too conforming and too like there's too much infrequency in here, which means that I don't feel like it's been done properly. Which means that I need to work on the ground some more, which means I've just spent a bunch of time replicating a bunch of stuff that's not usable. But that's the price we pay for our, what's the word I'm looking for? Hubris. Thank you. So let's grab this darker bit and see about layering it. This just compounds the problem. All right, let's try this. Woof. Woof. Wrong answer. Let's try grabbing that. Let's remove the corn. And focus on the ground. Hold on. You know what? What about that? Definitely not that. No, it doesn't look the same. Okay. No, we got to keep at it. This is the right. Cool. This is the correct path. So let's stay on the path. We'll just do it again. We're just gonna do it again until it's right. Just add more texture. Everything's gonna end up okay. Texture is the secret of soil. That's right. Add it on and then erase it off. Add it on, erase it off. Added it on, now we can erase it off. I'm going to just spin the brush around, not really care about my directions too much. Got a 20% opacity eraser, so I have to tap about 7 times for me to make it completely go away. Which means I can dot across the same surface repeatedly and not have to worry about the work just disappearing instantly. It takes a lot of attrition, a lot of duplicate tapping like this to be able to make it all fade away. Which is good. And then we're going to take the dark patches and we're going to lighten them up with the other texture brush that we were using. So we have a more layered effect. That should end up making everything look pretty good. Do a check here real quick. How are we doing on time? 8 o'clock? Wow, we're doing great. Grab this again. 5. We're going to tap this stuff into the gaps so it's more consistent, conforming. The brush strokes over here are too infrequent. There's not enough density. They look like brush strokes. So we have to have enough texture density so that you lose the brush and see the texture. By having them spaced too far apart, they look like brush strokes. And we lose the illusion of ground. There. It feels much better. I think we're looking better here. We have the same level of brightness. Damn close. So good enough. Okay, so we now have that. Let's do this. Free transform. Select inverse and trim away. There, and we do have these patches here. I don't hate them. Again, the density isn't there, so let's fill these in a bit more as well. There. I'm not rotating enough. I need to rotate more to break up the consistency of the pattern. This is way too replicated here. So fill that in. There, now we can erase at it. Make it blend into the piece a little bit better. less dense. Let's drop the brush down. Down to 80. There. I just want to break up the things that are jumping out as like bright spots. I want to break those up a little bit. And I think using a smaller brush is going to help me have less collateral damage. There. I don't get to freely. I don't talk freely when I'm doing this type of work. This is almost more like graphic design than artwork. And unfortunately, graphic design, like, it requires thinking on my part. I have to actually, think when I'm doing artwork, texturing and shading and detail work. That there's zero thought that goes into that, because I'm just taking a shape that exists, and I'm basically just coloring by numbers. The color being either actual color or detail or texture. With this piece, with these tiles, I'm actually having to think through what makes sense here. How does this look? What should this be like? And I'm scrutinizing it because it has to be tileable, so it has to look good replicating. So it's requiring me to think a lot more than I want to. Most of what I love about art in general is being able to turn off my brain. And sorry, I'm off screen here. I'm messing around with my pants. My foot's caught, and there we go, in the folds. There. But what I like about art is how I can turn off my brain and not have to think while I'm doing it. It took a long time for me to be able to enter that space, but that's what you're 10,000. Actually, I'd say I probably started finding Zen space in art probably around 5,000 to 6,000 hours. I reckon I'm at probably 15,000 hours accumulated of just doing art production in general of various forms. So it's really easy for me to slip away and just enter that null space and just zone. But am I doing this? This might be too frequent. But graphic design, it's a different type of production. So I don't have that freedom of thought that I do. Like here, I'm just stippling stuff. So this is like me talking actually allows me to turn off my brain a little bit and start that in. But now that fleeting moment is gone, and I have to re-engage thinking for me to figure out, what's the next thing I'm supposed to do. I can see all these little pock marks through there. I don't like that. Pock be gone. Let's drop the opacity here. Actually, yeah, let's keep the brush small. I'm gonna just tap away at this. Can't be anything wrong with this. Again, each square is 5 feet. It's a standard D&D combat scale. A lot of the stuff that we do on this channel involves larger scale than just a 5-foot combat grid. 50 foot, 500 foot, 1 mile, 10 miles, and 100 miles is typically the scales that we operate in, depending on whether we're doing world building, hex crawl types of activity, ship combat, mass army mass combat. Most of those operate at the 50, 500, and 1 mile scale. And then you have communities and territories, which will scale to 10 and 100 miles. But I do hex crawls, well, I call them hex crawls, but they're squares. I use squares for everything. But it's a grid, I guess a grid crawl. I don't know the proper English on that one. Let's bring this one down a smidge. That feels pretty good. drop this in. That feels pretty good. Do that. Erase that away. Now I'm starting to think about bare patches. So let's add a layer. Let's grab this brighter color here and maybe look to use this tool to scratch it in a little bit. These bare areas. And then we can use, maybe we use this brush to erase it. Kind of like that. I kind of like that. That's neat. Yeah, okay. Ooh, neat. I like this. Just fun little textures coming in here. Okay, we're starting to find a space. I think we're going to be a-okay. Wow, that feels pretty good. Oh, that's cool. I can use the shape of the brush here to help sculpt the ridge. Since it's overlapping the pattern, it can help ground the partial corn stalks here. See? I can just add this in. Oh my god, this is so fun. And I don't necessarily need to do that in the larger patches because they're all self-reinforcing each other, but like down around here, I can just drop some of this stuff in here to help make that fade in. That makes a ton of sense. Oh, I like. Likey. Nice. This is really turning out nicely. And so we have that added in. What if we drop the opacity to 50? lighter now than it was. I'm not sure if I'm happy with that. Well, I mean, it's certainly the separation certainly makes it easier to look at. I guess it's easier to see the shapes. I think I'm okay with that. I just like the darker grit that we've got going on over here. I want that, and I'm not feeling it. We're gonna find it. We're gonna find it. There's a happy medium here. That's all right. Lack of better guidance. Let's put it on top. So let's just dot this in here like that, and see if we can't create a solution that we like. Since we're staying vertical, this brush has a definite up and down into it, so we should be able to help this again just to reinforce the patterning. Hey, what's up? How you doing, Steve? I'll be here for another 40 minutes, and we'll cut for the time. I've got some off-screen stuff I need to do. My intention, we'll see how accurate my timing is, but my intention is to be back up and running with finishing off Point Warlocks today at 2 Seattle time, PST. It is 8:20 now here in Seattle, so I'll finish stream at 9, and then 5 hours later come back and finish off the Warlocks. And then we'll start sniping stuff, looking for gaps in the marshals. Starting at the barbarian and working our way down to make sure that we have like all the language for all the subclasses that we need everywhere, instead of being like, as per player's handbook, can refresh with 2 mana. Like I need to actually get the actual language of what those things are into the playtest document, so that it's easier for people to use the playtest document alongside the 5e24, so they don't have to keep flipping back and forth between books to be able to utilize powers. Let's tap it in, and let's duplicate the layer just to be safe. And then we're going to sure, let's leave this one up and see how that goes. Tap to erase. We're using a 33%, 34% opacity eraser. Just again to add in more texture here, just to break up the shapes. I don't want to. I need to make sure that it stays somewhat dark, because that was the purpose of this extra layer here, was to darken the overall mass. Because the space between the cornrows was looking a little bit too light, so I needed to dark the entire block. Looks like that's turning out okay. There we go. That's decent. Looks pretty similar. Yeah, it's nearly identical. This has a little bit more texture now. And that's a good thing. I just want to get in here and break up the, if there's any color blocks, I just want to break them up a little bit. There. Let's conceal that. Almost there. I think we can probably put a bit of a fade on it. Still good. And I like the, there's a grittiness to this that I don't feel like I'm having here. I'm trying to parse out where is that disconnect, and it might be I like this. This is good. It's very similar. So what happens if we do this? Let's get our shit squared away. Oh, wait. Select inverse. Okay, this is good. And we've got our ground, and we've got duplicate. Let's fold this up. Where's my corn? It's over here. Here. Edges look good. Edges look good. Edges look good. There. Okay, great. So that feels pretty good. Ground. Thank you, Timely Timer. Puts us at roughly 20 minutes. Doink, doink. There. So that's our first official. Feeling pretty good about that. I need to now swap all of the ground tiles. I just did a bunch of ground tiles. Actually, I didn't do that many ground tiles. I did some. So I shouldn't bitch and whinge too much. I'm gonna duplicate this group. Let's peel it out. Production. Ground copy replaces ground. Get the corn on point. Good. Corn looks good. That one's good. And now I'm going to duplicate that group. Right up to here. Production, ground copy, erase, ground copy up to here. This is the way. Duplicate the group. Almost done. Zouk le blue. On point. Corn. Corn on point. Good. Okay, cool. So that one's good now. Let's duplicate the corn. Or the ground, pull it out of its set, peel this one open, production, ground, swap that out, grab ground, bring it to here, bring it to here, almost done, and then we'll get back to work. That's good. That's lined up. Looks like the corn is in its box. Corn box. Good to go. Duplicate the layer. Last one. Bring it up top. Here. Conceal. Open. Production. Ground. Delete. Move. And back to good to go. Corn. Corn in the box. corn in the box. There. Good lined up. Okay, cool. We're lined up. Okay, great. These are all good. So we can conceal that. So we have our base, just our base corn tile. That one is good to go. We finished one unique path. That one is now good to go. I keep staring at this. Sorry, hold on. I really just, for some reason, just really want to have this filled in. I don't like this line of separation here is bothering me. But that it bothers me feels pretty natural, so I think I'm okay with leaving it. It's not going to be frequent enough to cause a real problem. Arvo. Okay, that looks pretty good. Cool. Let's seal that up. And let's move on to the next piece. So we'll take this one here like that. And then we're going to take the corn and we're going to go like this, like that. Something like that. You know, wind our way around the path here. And we go off over in this direction here. And we go over here in this direction like this. And it loops around like that. Trim away this corn here like that. Open up these spaces. I think we're getting a better idea of how to navigate these shapes. Drop those in the frame. Okay, cool. So that looks pretty good. And so we can conceal the guide. And oof, I bet that's going to end up pissing me off too. But only because it's so close to a gap. Like over here, it's not even a problem anymore, but there's no exit here. It's only when there's an exit point nearby a clump do I start scrutinizing the clump. Argent. There we go. Nope. I'm going to add more into here. Open up that space a little bit. Like that. That feels pretty good. Like that. Then I think I want to carve this away. Is there something in here? Not really. So actually, we can add this back in. Keep that trimmed away. Like that. We'll do that. I'll keep it trimmed away along the edges here. What about here? That'll do. There. That feels pretty good. Like that. And then we'll do the overbrush. Sculpt these things into shapes that make more sense. Trim that away a little bit here to get rid of the squaredness of it. Erase that down. Bring that in a touch. Erase here and here. There, that doesn't look so bad. Doesn't look bad at all. So let's go back to bloop, here. Got some of this stuff in along in here. To help fill in these gaps a little bit, to help merge the corn into the terrain a little easier. Let me trim away at it a little bit so it blends in a little more. Open up the space a little bit here because it's a wide space, so it should have more. It should be pale, more pale. So we'll erase that down a little bit here. Work that texture in. Marking that in. There we go. I think I'm starting to get a groove on this. Decent open patch over here. Let's just add in some trample. There we go. Add a little bit there. Hey, what's up? I wasn't with you when you started to rework the grass, but now that you're here, I see what you see. It's looking good. Thank you. Thank you. I know I'm not fucking crazy. Very much appreciated. Now I think I just want to fade. I'll just drop it a little bit. That feels pretty good. Yeah, I think I like that. It's a little. I've got the ground a little bit lighter than it was in the original model. I like how gritty this original model is, but I think this is better. I think this is just better. It has more contrast. It's more separated. So I think that ends up making this feel a little bit better. I know the colors are still good. It's just a matter of like this is like maybe 10% lighter than this is. It's still like it matches up basically here where it gets ground in. This was an entry point in the original one. So it was more ground here and then it fades out. But I think I'm happy with this. That is to say, I don't think I have any reason to be unhappy with it. So I could, like, for instance, click. See? They just look good together. That is really, really good separation. I think it makes it really obvious about where you are or aren't on the path. Yeah, I think you still have that here. It's just a little bit lighter tone. I think it's helping the piece. I love these things, man. I love doing this kind of shit. All right, we're doing good here, team. We are doing plenty good here. So let's do the next one. Open this space up. Drop the opacity on that one, and then we'll start. Fading that out. Man. Let's up that, make it a little bit easier for my eyes to see it. There, and again, there's you can go through the cornfields without any trouble. It's just difficult terrain, and you have obscured vision beyond 5 feet. Like you can see into the next 5 foot square, but that's it. So crashing through corn maze through the cornfields without having any like you can get blinded, you can get blindsided, you can get flanked. You know, clever. You know, insert clever girl meme here. Is this a bit? Wait. There. But this, I mean, this is Karrnath, and there are raptors in the Talenta Plains just south of here. And with the with the last war lasting 100 some odd years, the halflings not being involved in it at all, there's been a severe shortage of border patrol in southeastern Karrnath, which has allowed the Talenta halflings to become really bold about territory and digging their way into the Karrnath heartland. So one of the major problems that sheriffs like outriders would have is trying to shoo halflings away from what they're attempting to make farmland. And if the halflings aren't down with it, then they're going to be basically running through fields like this with their letting their raptors go free, hunting down farmers that are in their eyes the people that are telling the sheriffs to come here and chase them out. So there would be a very much like a Great Plains sort of interaction happening between Karnath farmers and the Talenta halflings. Like, if this was supposed to be your territory, why haven't you defended it well for over like 5 generations? And the only answer that Karnath would really be able to give is like, we were really busy with a war, and the halflings are like, that's not our problem. This is our land now. Stay out. And now you have, bounty type campaigning words. That through. Let's do that. Let's trim that up like this. Did I run out of music? Sometimes that happens. If stream runs too long, I run out of music. I probably need to expand my playlist. That feels pretty fucking good, man. Now let's add in. Dot this stuff in like this to help fade in the ground. Like that. In these larger areas, these larger patches here should have more of the grass filled in like this. And we'll erase at it, pick at it a little bit to grind it into the environment like that. And then we'll drop it down to, I think we are at 75% capacity, opacity. I think that's where we have these things sitting. $75, $75. $75. Okay, that's another one. So let's tile these things in place. God, look how nicely that lined in. Jesus, fuck. There, locked into place, and these things look really good. It's coming along pretty nicely. I'm aware of this little gap here. I'm not necessarily 100% happy about that, but I think I'm going to leave it in place because there's enough breakup in form and shapes that I don't think it's going to be something that we're going to see a lot of. This is turning out great, guys. I am really fucking happy with this. The more I look at it, the more it bothers me. But if I decide to go ahead and switch, I can switch it. Let's let it play out because it's easy for us to just to duplicate layers at this point. What time is it? It's 8:55. Okay, so I like it a bunch. Yeah, thanks a lot, man. Thank you. It's tiling shit is fun, man. It's a challenge, but it's really fun. I really enjoy it. The first tiling I did, I got hired by a Catan, Settlers of Catan enthusiast, and he went to some sort of Catan convention or something, and he commissioned. He was a wood. He was a wood carver, and he uses a laser to burn patterns into wood. So he hired me to create tiles for like alternate Catan tiles that had radial symmetry. So it didn't matter which direction you were looking at the tiles from. It was always properly orienting for you. The only exception to that was we had I made perpetual hex tiling for water, and the water had a definite up and down. It kind of had an angle to it, so you could kind of eyeball it. But all of the actual surfaces and all the resources and all of the actual you only needed water tiles if you were doing like the piracy expansion. If you were just doing landlocked Settlers of Catan, all of it was radial symmetry, so it always was looking at you when you looked at it. Maybe if I have some time, I'll post some of that stuff on my Discord and socials, just so you guys can see what. But that was the first tiling experience that I'd ever actually had, and it really started. I'm really blessed to have had that as the first time someone actively asked me, hey, can you make tiles for me like this? Because that getting into that radial symmetry mindset, because the hexagon, it's 6 sides, right? Because Catan are all hexagons. And hold on real quick. Let's see. Maybe I can go find it. Let's see if I can go find it real quick. Figgins. Here we go. These are the castle tokens were not radial. I don't want to be a freaking liar. Here we go. Here's a desert hex. So this is the shapes. They would interlock with each other. So it's hexagons, and he made these, and he printed these out of wood. And this is the pattern that he burned into the wood. So scorched earth. Let's see. Here's the water hex I was talking about, and here's a replicated. Here's a stacking a bunch of tiles together. You can see how they just naturally flow into each other. It took a long time for me to figure out how to do that. But I think the results are pretty fucking cool. Let's get rid of that. Get rid of that. Open. Grain. It's a grain hex. I particularly like this one, but it was radial. I used I made one pattern basically like from here to here, 1/3 of it, so I could copy paste the 3 sides, and then just blend them together by erasing away the overlaps. But it ended up looking pretty good. And then you have a resource tile in the middle. There'd be a number tile in the middle for like what number it is that you would get on this, because Catan. And then let's look at I don't know, another 1 or 2. Here's the wood tile. I like this one a lot. I was really proud of this one. This is the wooden tile, so obviously it's just a wood stump. I didn't have to do literal linear. I didn't have to worry about doing radial symmetry with this one because it's the cutaway of a trunk, so I could just organically create what those swirls are, and it's always going to look right no matter which direction you look at it from. This is a super fun project to do. How long ago was this? 2018. I did this project back in 2018. Oh yeah, the bricks. The bricks were cool too. And it's just very, very simple, very obvious, but it was fun. This is what got me started in on tiling, and yeah. So now we're here. And I'm going to go ahead and cut stream here for now. Tomorrow, I actually work tomorrow, so I'm going to have a normal day of production. Should be on by 6:30, go till 8. And then since it's Wednesday, that'll be the only time that I'm on stream. But we're just gonna keep working through these tiles. So here, and here, that'll finish out the unique set, and then we'll start to be able to build in the samples out of the way. There. Yeah, we'll finish those out, and then we'll start doing all the replicants. This is turning out to be a hell of a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. I was abso-fucking-lutely on point with the production, with the instincts to go with a base template, and then overlap on top of it. This is all panning out just fucking fine. So I'm looking forward to getting back into it. So I could put a loop here, and then I could put a loop here. So fun. I'm this is a real like railroad track sort of thing, because we're building these paths that have to connect with each other. It would not be surprising if I didn't utilize these templates, like these basic shape templates, in the future for other tile sets. I could do this with river systems and woods, or like forest paths. Water, like river systems comes to mind, obviously. If I adhered to the squares inside the grid, I could do something like this, like with a cityscape. Like this would be like a town plaza, and then have buildings ringing it, and then a road that leads off. So if I was more angular and precise, like with precision with angles, I could take this same set and like make a city tile set. It's good basic shapes though. So anyway, that's it for now, guys. I'm going to be out of here. I should be back. The goal is to be back on at 2:00 to finish out Warlocks and start making sure I haven't missed anything in any of the others. So I think there's instances of like some of the Ranger stuff is like as per player's handbook, but you only spend 2 mana instead of a spell slot, like stuff like that. I've been recoding everything so that every feature, every class feature, and every subclass feature and bonus spell lists are included into the playtest document. So like if somebody wanted to make a Ranger, they would only need, other than like how the game plays, you would only need the martial powers book. You wouldn't have to reference the player's handbook for building your, for your class features to be able to build that out. So there's less flipping around and consistency in which rules are used. So like the Paladin, for instance, has an option for the bonus you give to people's saving throws is equal to the rank of power that you've gained as a Paladin. At 17th level, it'll be a +5, as it would naturally be on a Paladin with a 20 charisma, as it would be in a normal game. But at 5th level, it starts with at 7th level, it starts with a +2. And then it goes +3 at 9, and then +4 at 13, and then +5 at 17. I personally think having like all of your charisma dumped in at level 7 with a +4 bonus to all saving throws, I think that spikes the system too hard. It makes it makes saving throws too easy in general. I like the scaling up, so the stepping effect with and having it scale with your paladin's max rank of power, or rather the maximum spell level you can cast as a paladin. I think that helps curb it, so that you don't just dip in, get it, and then leave after 7th level to go 13 levels in a full caster class somewhere. Because 7 levels plus 13 levels, that's if you went 8 levels and then 12 levels, it'd be 6, 4. You'd only be 10th. So if you went, no, it'd be 12 and 8, that'd be 16. So you'd get to 8th level spells, If you went to 13 and then 7, it rounds down, it would still only be 16. Yeah. So you can't get to 7th level and still have access to 9th level casting as a full anyway. Whatever, I'm rambling. I'm out of here for now. I'll be back at 2. I will catch you guys then. Thanks a lot for everyone that's been checking out the stream. I'm really looking forward to continuing this. Tomorrow we'll be back in the morning. Thursday I have off, and Friday I have off, and Monday I have off because of the American holiday. So I got a lot of vacation time coming up. We're easily going to get all these tile sets done, drop them into the document, into the actual page production for the book. Have these set aside as one of the things that we add to the zip file when you purchase the adventure, download it from DMsGuild. And so we'll have this done, and then we'll be able to continue moving forward and finishing production. Yep, we're just going to keep moving forward and doing pages. This is the next thing that we needed to work in the book. This is what we build out, get it done. We move on to another page. We just keep moving from page to page to page to the book until we run out of pages, and then we're done, and we get to publish the fucking thing. So we're like, I think we're down like 20 pages, and we have 80 to go. But some of them are going to go really fast because this is dropping pieces of map in, and then you just move on. So some of it's going to be really easy. All right, that's it for now, guys. I will see you on the other side in about 5 hours. See you guys then. Cheers.